What if the pillar of your community was a monster, hiding behind a web of lies and a floor of concrete? In Cairo, they called him Gaddafi Farag, a law graduate, one who pretended to be a businessman, and who ran a charming little collection of shops, a bookstore, a toy shop, and an electronics outlet. He was also a polygamic mass killer, marrying and discarding women left and right, never telling the next one about the previous. You know, just the undisputed pillar of the community. But in reality, he was a brilliant con man, using his law degree as the perfect cover for document forgery. And those little shops? Mostly just frighteningly convenient storage units. Gaddafi wasn't merely living off deceit, he was constructing deceit. He used marriage itself as a method of theft and deception. When most people's pyramid schemes start to crumble, they go bankrupt. Gaddafi, he had a different plan. He turned financial stress into imaginative home renovation. He began with his childhood friend and Saudi-based civil engineer, Reda Mohammed Abdel Latif. Reda made the all-time mistake, trusting an old friend with a sure-thing money-making venture. By 2015, Reda returned to Cairo, expecting to collect his profits. He came home expecting a payday, and he got a poison cocktail instead. Invited Reda up to his Bulak apartment. He treated him to a poison dinner and finished the act with a metal rod. Then came the stupendous lack of effort. Instead of a complicated, high-risk elimination, Gaddafi simply buried his friend under the hallway tiles. He literally trod over his troubles every single day. To conceal his tracks, he stole Reda's ID and kept up the act, impersonating him for years. And ironically, Reda, his childhood friend, his very first victim, would eventually play a part in Gaddafi being caught. His second victim, Nadine El Sayed El Gendi, the sister of the woman he was dating, she was asking too many questions. So, he invited her back into the same apartment, choked her, and buried her in the next room. He had finally figured something out. His apartment was large enough for a small, private cemetery, if possible. But Gaddafi didn't restrict his targets to acquaintances and inquisitive in-laws. He killed his own wife, Fatima Zakaria El-Zahra. Fatima had grabbed some cash from him to secure herself, suspecting he was going to leave her, as he'd done before, for another woman. During their altercation over the money, Gaddafi force-closed the altercation by slamming her head into the wall, and then, as he did before, disposed of her body under the floorboards in the house. In 2016, he went on to work in Alexandria. Gaddafi's last documented victim was Yasmin Nasser Ibrahim, who was employed by him, and found him out when he forged documents in order to sell out her apartment. She threatened him with legal action. Gaddafi found that particularly bad for business. He choked her and hid her body, again using the same technique that he knows, calculating, under the floorboards, in his electronics shop. He was finally caught while trying to sell gold that belonged to one of his victims, still using the stolen identity of his old friend, Reda. The gold dealer got suspicious and called the police. When they arrived, they found a man named Engineer Reda and arrested him for gold theft. At that point, no one knew they had just captured Egypt's most wanted serial killer. For the police, he was just another petty thief. But everything changed when the real Reda's family entered the picture. For years, they had been searching for their missing son, hoping for any sign of him. Then one day, they received a call from Alexandria police saying, "Your son Reda is in custody." Overwhelmed with relief, they rushed to the station, only to come face to face with the man claiming to be Reda. But it wasn't him. It was Gaddafi Farag, the butcher of Egypt. After his arrest, the truth came out. All his crimes were confirmed. In 2021, Gaddafi Farag was sentenced to death for murdering his wife and several others. On January 11, 2024, the Court of Cassation made the sentence final, and that was the end. of the Butcher of Giza, a man who fooled everyone, committed unspeakable crimes, and showed no mercy to his victims. When I think about Gaddafi Farag, I don't see a genius or a mastermind. I see a man who chose lies over life and built his world on the bones of people who trusted him. He fooled everyone until the truth came out from under his own floor. Stories like this remind us how dangerous a smiling face can be and how evil can hide in plain sight. My thoughts and condolences go to every family that suffered because of him. May their souls rest in peace, and may justice, even delayed, never be denied.